Hello, so I am Blair Burke, and I chose to do the issue of conflicting rights on freedom of speech and expression, tailoring to the First Amendment. So the questions that I'm posing about these situations are, first and foremost, how is freedom of speech and expression suppressed in schools? And also, can students be legally reprimanded for their freedom of speech outside of the school environment? So, to first look at the First Amendment, it says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And that was taken from the National Constitution Center this year. So with the protection under the First Amendment, it provides security for every single American citizen to be able to speak and think freely. It also protects educators' ability to exercise their judgment in accordance with professional standards and provides the latitude to create learning environments that effectively help young people acquire the knowledge and skills needed to become productive, self-sufficient, and contributing members of society. Freedom of speech in schools, however, is implemented in ways that do not interfere with the school's educational mission. So the court case that I wanted to talk about that specifically is tailored to the First Amendment is Mahanoy School District versus BL. So the student that I'm discussing, she failed to make the varsity cheerleading team, and she was pretty upset and frustrated by that. So after school, off campus, completely off campus, she was with a friend, and she posted on her Snapchat sharing about her frustrations that she had with the school, the cheerleading squad, which contained vulgar language and gestures. The school officials were made aware of the posts, I'm suspecting from a member of her friends list on Snapchat. This resulted in BL being suspended from the upcoming junior varsity squad the upcoming school year. The student and her parents then went to federal court, arguing her punishment that she received from the school violated her First Amendment. They relied on Tinker vs. Des Moines Independent Community School District, specifically 393 U.S. 503. The district court found that the punishment was indeed violation of the First Amendment because her Snapchat did not cause serious disruption at the school. The posts were made off campus on her own device. It would have been much different if she was using technology provided to her from the school, and it would have been a serious disruption if she would have made a volatile threat. So this leads me to, can speech then be reprimanded outside of the school environment? Like I was saying, if there is no ill intent towards the school environment, including, the student body population, staff, and the learning environment in its entirety, and it's done off school grounds, there should not be reprimanding, because it's not in their hands. BL's posts on Snapchat were not malicious and threatening. They were done on her own device and off of school grounds. If the student was making a threat towards her coaches or fellow teammates, there would be an appropriate reason for suspension. However, the post that she did make, she was with her friends, and she posted two images. The first image posted showed her with her friend, their middle fingers raised, and the caption read, F school, F softball, F cheer, F everything. The second image was blank, but it had a caption that said, love how me and another student get told we need a year of JV before we make varsity, but that doesn't matter to anyone else. So again, this was on her personal device, on her Snapchat, her freedom of speech. She was not making a direct threat. This is not done on school premises. So it was an infringement on her First Amendment rights. So then, how is freedom of speech then suppressed in schools? Although students maintain protection through the First Amendment, public school officials are able to regulate certain types of student expression. This is from the Freedom Forum Institute, and the date was not disclosed. So, for example, student A in my class was dress coded this most recent school year for wearing socks that said F this S. Her socks were not insinuating violence towards any member of the school environment, not her classmates, not the teachers, not the classroom. However, she was sent out of the room, sent to the office. She was given ISS for the day. However, she was forced to roll her socks down and keep the words covered for the remainder of the day. And if she did not comply with this, she was going to be sent home for the day. Although this goes against school dress code policy with lewd language, does this infringe on her rights to freedom of expression? So this is her personal clothing, but this is not, it would be different if it said F and then, a member of the staff, or F this student, or it's not derogatory towards any single person. It's just a general statement, which again is her freedom of speech and her freedom of expression. But the school's dress code forced her to roll her socks down and keep them covered. So a couple of court cases that go with the First Amendment are Tinker v. Des Moines, and this is where high school students showed opposition to the Vietnam War through wearing black armbands. The armbands were banned, and the students kept wearing them, which resulted in them being suspended. This case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, which they ruled in favor of the students, saying that they had not shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. Then you have the second one, which is Gillis v. Marino, where the student received a discipline referral for wearing a shirt that depicted President George W. Bush as an alcoholic and cocaine addict. The student returned to school with the shirt covered in duct tape with the words censored written on it. The Supreme Court identified that the shirt was protected under the First and 14th Amendments, and the discipline referral was expunged from the student's record. So, in summary, a student's rights of expression, speech, etc. are protected under the First Amendment as long as it does not promote endangerment, cause disruptions to the learning environment, or advocate the use of illegal substances or other violations of the law. And here are a list of my references where I received information from the court cases, the National Constitution Center, National Coalition Against Censorship, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and from Foundations of Education.